Hi everyone, and welcome to the first tutorial in Game Maker. Our first game that we're going to create is going to be called Catch the Clown. Now for this first game I have typed up the notes for you, but for your next game you'll need to type these up, and also for the game that you create for your achievement standard you'll need to come up with quite detailed notes for that. So these are just real brief ones for our first game. So basic description, you need to catch the clown. It's a little action game. In the game a clown will move around a playing field. The expected playing time is just a few minutes. The goal of the game is to catch the clown by clicking on it. As the player progresses through the game, the clown will start moving faster and it becomes more difficult to catch it. Score. Each time you catch the clown, the score is raised by 10 points. And of course the goal is to get the highest possible score. Game objects. There will be two objects in this game, the clown and the wall. Okay, let's get started. Now when you open up Game Maker on the computers at school, you'll have a slightly different version to my Game Maker. Of course, if you download it at home, and remember you can download it for free, then you will have, of course, the same version that I've got. So what you want to do is go to tutorials, and in the version at school you'll have the tutorials over on the right hand side, I think. But basically you need to go to the first tutorial, which looks like this one. Okay, it's Catch the Clown. What you want to do first of all is to save it and to give it its first name. Otherwise, every time you come back into Game Maker, it'll be really difficult to find your game. So if we just call it something quite logical, like Clown Game. And if you notice, I've put an underscore instead of just putting a space. So if I go create, what you can do first off is exit out of the tutorial at the side, because that's what I'm doing now, giving you the tutorial. We'll also get rid of that screen at the bottom. Right, as you can see at the side here, you've got a whole bunch of different objects that we're going to be creating and using in this game. Now, the very first thing, as the game description said, we've got two images that we're going to be using, the clown and the wall. These images are called sprites. There's a lot you need to know about sprites, but at the moment, if you just think of them as images, for making these images, later on especially, you can use drawing programs like Paint, and also Game Maker has a built-in sprite editor where you can make adjustments as well. Creating nice looking sprites is an art that requires loads of practice, but fortunately there's a huge collection of them available on the internet for free. So for our little game we've got two sprites, and what we're going to do is go to Resources, Create Sprite. Now our first one we're going to call SPR, short for sprite, underscore clown, CLOWN. Then we want to go to load sprite, and this is where we need to find where it's been saved. You can use the up arrow, and if you find tutorial 1, then go to the assets folder. You'll see the three things we'll need here, but the clown is what we want at the moment, so I'll just double click on that. Now what we want to do for this particular sprite is we're going to click on center to make the origin in the middle of the sprite there. So when Game Maker puts the sprite into the room, it'll use the base as the center of it. Also, what we want to do is modify the mask. Now basically the mask is where the collision mask, so when it collides with the wall, if it collides anywhere along those edges, it will bounce back. As you see by the shape here, you can change that. So this one would mean precise, so it would have to touch the actual edge of the body on the wall before it bounced back. You've got the ellipse, which is pretty good as well, and a diamond. So just depending on the sprite that you're using, depends on the shape that would be best for it. For this one, I think I'm going to go with precise. So you just press OK, press OK again, and as you can see, our sprite has now appeared under our sprite menu. So now we need to add the wall in the same way. So resources, create sprite. This time we'll call it SPR underscore wall, keeping it logical. Load sprite. This time they'll come up automatically, and we want the wall for this one, and we'll leave everything as it is. So just click OK. Okay, so now we've got our two sprites. Now that we've got two of them, it doesn't actually mean that anything's going to happen in the game yet. We actually have to apply each with the actions that they need to do. So there's going to be several events that we need to create for them. Things like create event, which will actually create the clown on the screen. A collision event, so we have to explain when the clown hits the wall what will happen. And a mouse event, where we have to explain what will happen when the player clicks on the clown and what it needs to do. So first of all, we need to add the objects. So we're going to go to resources, create object. We're going to do the wall first, so we'll call it obj underscore wall. And then what you want to do is go to this little blue icon and go to the wall. Nice and easy. We don't want to change anything else there, so we're just going to press OK. Now we'll go to the start the clown in the same way. Resources, create object, obj underscore clown. Find the clown. And this time we actually need to create some events that go with the clown. First of all, we need to make a create event so that the clown is actually created in the room. So if you go add event, create. Now we need to include a moved fixed action, and that is over on the right hand side here. So you'll see all these different tabs. These are what we're going to be using now. If you leave your mouse on top of them, they'll tell you exactly what it is. So it's the moved fixed that we want. So if we drag it over to the actions, what we want it to do, the clown, when it's created in the room, we want it to move in any possible direction. So we're going to click all those 8 arrows. If you don't want it to move, that's when you press the one in the middle. Also, we want to make the speed 4. And you can experiment with changing the speed to figure out what it actually does to your clown. So now we're going to go OK. Now we need to add the collision event. So we'll go down to add event, and this time go to collision. We want it applied to the wall, so when the clown hits the wall, we want it to bounce off. So this time, in the Move tab, we want to select the bounce. Sorry, the jump. Oh yes, sorry, the bounce one in the jump area. We're going to leave all of those particular areas the same as their default value. So we'll just click OK. Finally, we need to define what happens when the user clicks with the left mouse button. But just before I do that, I have noticed that I haven't labeled that correctly. So I'm just going to go to OK. Oh, sorry, it has just updated itself. It's a bit better now. If I double click back on that, it brings me back into the object properties of the clown. We're going to go to Add Event, and this time we're going to select Mouse, and we want to apply it to when the left mouse button is pressed. From the Score tab over at the side, you want to find the Set Score action, drag it over. As a new score, we want it to add 10, so we're just going to press 10 there. And we're also going to click next to this Relative button. This Relative button is going to pop up loads of times in the different events. Basically what it means, when you click Relative, it means it will add 10. So every time you click with the left mouse button on the clown, it'll add 10. 10 plus 10. If we didn't click Relative, 10 would be replaced by 10 every time, so it wouldn't essentially be adding to it, it would just be replacing it. So go to OK. Now from the Move tab, we want to select this one here, which is Jump to Random. We'll place that in there, and we'll leave those parameters unchanged and just click OK. Last thing we need to do is put in another move action. So we'll drag that in, and again click all those 8 arrows around the outside. This time we're going to set the speed at 0.5 and click Relative, so it adds 0.5 to the speed every time you click it. So in other words, the clown will get faster and faster. Okay. Right, now we've got our objects and we've defined exactly what they're going to do. We actually need to create a room for them to go in. So what we're going to do up in Resources is go Create Room. First of all, in the Settings area, we're going to give our room a name. And we're going to call it RM_main. Now in the Objects tab, we need to select the objects that we're going to place in the room. I'll just make that larger. As you can see, it's automatically come up with the clown for me. If you haven't got the clown, you can go into the blue menu and choose it. So select your object clown. What you want to do with your clown is just click anywhere in the room to place it instance in there. If you accidentally click twice and put 2 in, you can just right click on there and delete it. Now that you've placed the clown in the room, we now need to go and select the wall. And what we're going to do with the wall is place it around the edges of the room. So I'm just going to do that now. I'll drag them into place. As you can see, I'm going to have to overlap that last one there. I'll just drag that there. Put them all around. Oops. Great. Now we've got a wall around the room. So basically, anytime the clown hits one of these, it's going to bounce off and keep bouncing around for us to click on it. Right, when you're happy with the room the way it looks, you can click on the green tick to OK it.